Now, of course, the first casualties of the war are the people in Ukraine, but the economies of the European Union and the human cost of the economic collapse that is underway in the European economies will definitely class them as the second victims of the war. Not a lot of people know that because not a lot of media or political class members ever tells you that. But that is the reality. All over Europe, the lights are going out. They may not be lit again in our lifetime. Let's hear from European intellectual, political commentator, all-round sage, Mr. Elijah Magnier, who joins us now. Long time, Elijah. Thanks for joining me on the mother of all talk shows. Let's start close to where you are. In Germany, I singled them out in my monologue because I genuinely fear what's going to happen in Germany. Tell us how it's developing there.
Hello, George, and thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on your show. Well, as you rightly said, Europe is indeed the second major victim of this war. But this is a European decision to be a victim because of the boomerang effect on their own sanctions against Russia, particularly in the energy sector, where Europe is really in need of gas and oil, and there is more to come on the 5th of December. So we're going to come to that. But as you rightly ask about Germany, Germany is considered the third country after the China and the United States as a bigger exporter in the world. Now, Germany is going to suffer tremendously because of the lack of energy and because there is no gas.
Elijah, we've lost your sound. Let's reconnect and continue this very important discussion. So what Elijah was talking about was Germany, as indeed was I. The Italian elections finish at roughly 10 p.m. And so we don't have any exit polls. But I don't think you need to be Nostradamus to work out that there's going to be a crushing rejection of the centrist forces. They call themselves a collection of social democrats, Christian democrats, and the rest. They're going to be crushed in these elections. And once Elijah's back on the line, which I understand he is now, Elijah, we were talking about Germany, then we'll go to Italy. Please finish what you wanted to say about Germany.
So in the course as Germany is going to lose at least 5 billion next year, and is going to be a huge effect on the industry, with at least 3 million people who are going to lose their job due to the German decision to suspend. Well, it's actually not very German. The decision comes from the White House to suspend the Nord Stream 2 pipeline that comes from Russia to Germany and supplies Germany with gas. That has never been inaugurated, but it has been suspended. Donald Trump tried before, but didn't succeed with Chancellor Merkel. But it seemed that Joe Biden was much more successful with Chancellor Scholz. So the mainstream 2 has been suspended, and on the mainstream 1, there are problems.
Unfortunately, we are losing the sound again, Elijah. I was making the point, while we try and get Elijah back, that the forces of the center that have supported the European Union boomerang, as Elijah called it, that they threw at Russia, but which came back and sliced the heads off the economy in the European Union. It when history comes to be written, it will undoubtedly be seen as the most grievous act of self-harm collectively done. And Elijah made the point there that the decision was made in the White House, but the German government had the ability to refuse it. After all, Angela Merkel did refuse it. She refused it when Donald Trump demanded it. But Scholz, as a social democrat, has proved easier to deal with for the Americans, as Elijah put it. And of course, this is true right now across the European Union. The lights are going out, the heating is going off, the factories are stopping turning, the inflation is rocketing, and as I alluded earlier, perhaps I didn't put too fine a point on it. In Germany, there's a history of rampant inflation, mass unemployment, and a national psychosis that they have been betrayed, stabbed in the back. Let's see if Elijah is there now and we can complete the interview. Elijah, sorry for these difficulties. You see my point I was just making there. I hope you heard it. That the elements exist in Germany, at least historically, for this to turn into a very big disaster indeed.
Well, look, just to confirm, if I may, what you just started, in Europe, we need 155 billion cubic meters of gas. And Russia used to provide us with this gas at a very cheap price. Germany was the first beneficial of this cheap price by boosting its industry to become the third worldwide, very close range with the United States, and export all its industry production due to the cheap price of energy. Now, from 155 billion cubic meters of gas, the Americans told us that they will give us 10% at a 40% increase of price. And then we're going to start begging in other countries, like Germany went to Saudi Arabia and to the Emirates, to beg for more gas. Because coming the 5th of December. And on the 5th of December, we're going to have, again, to impose further sanctions on Russia. And we're going to impose another sanction related to energy in February. Now, already the bills in France and in Belgium are multiplied by 4. In France, not to the individual, but to companies and shops, etc. But it's going to come and hit them on the beginning of January, as it's going to be hit all over Europe. Now, can you imagine we paying the price of gas 4 or 5 times? And we are on a very micro scale. What's going to happen to the industry, particularly in Germany? Now, everybody is going to go to China, and the industry in Europe is going to sink. The job opportunities are going to lack. And there is going to be a very serious crisis that is going to be major, as I said, on the 5th of December, after the 5th of December, and in February. So we're going to expect a very harsh next year economy and inflation all over Europe.
Now, if Germany is a case in point, which it obviously is, fortunately for the German government, the likelihood is that the German public will not be allowed a say on whether or not to continue with this suicidal set of policies. But the Italian electors very much do. This very day. We don't know the results yet, but as I put it when we were trying to get back to you, you don't have to be Nostradamus to anticipate that the forces of the center, so-called, that support this giant boomerang and continue to support it, are going to be crushed in the elections. What do you think is going to happen in these Italian polls?
Giorgia Meloni is a right wing, and she is expected to win the election The poll will close at 11 o'clock this evening. And in collaboration and connection with Salvini, who is also right-wing, and Berlusconi, the former prime minister, they're going to form a coalition of right-wing parties that are going to rule Italy. However, we're not going to expect that these are going to be grateful for Russia, who run during the COVID-19 to support Italy, when France closed its doors on Italy and the rest of Europe suddenly considered Italy no longer part of the European Union. As Draghi did, the prime minister who used to be prime minister, no longer. Nobody has
Elijah, alas, we're still having these sound difficulties, so we'll have to call it a day, and thank you indeed. We will discuss the Italian elections on Wednesday on the Galloway show, which only has a couple more weeks to run because it will be replaced by the midweek mother of all talk shows. So if you're interested in what's about to happen in Italy and what the implications are for the rest of Europe of what's about to happen in Italy, then please tune in at 10 p.m. UK time on Wednesday, only on YouTube.